Hey everyone, this video I'm going to talk about step one, what you need to do. And as with anything, big or small, no matter what it is, you have to take that first step. And when you've been lost for a long time, for whatever reason, whether that's because you're depressed, for the loss of a loved one, trauma, traumatic event, something you went through, accident, it can be absolutely anything. Absolutely anything. And most commonly, most people don't even know what it is. They're just searching and they don't even know why they're searching because they look at their lives and they don't find any reason for why they should be. Some people have good lives and they're still lost. Other people, are lost and know why but still don't know what to do. Uh, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and because you've got to do step one. And step one is simply remembering what a connection feels like. And by that, I mean, you ever hear an old song um, that was special to you for whatever reason? Maybe it was an anniversary, maybe it was just a great memory back in the day, maybe it was when you got your first car, whatever and there's a song to it. Like, think of that special person in your life and that song that kind of connects you to that person. Well, when you hear that song now, you feel just a little flutter, a little connection to it if you stop and pay attention. Most of the time, the stuff's just going by so fast that it doesn't matter if it's even how special the song is. It just goes right by you, and you never even stop and pay attention to it. But that's step one: is you've got to pay attention to some connection. For me, it was music, which is why I made that analogy. You know, hearing a song, remembering why that song is special to me, connecting to why that song was special to me, allowing myself to follow the trail all the way back to when it became special to me, to the moment it became special to me. What that did for me is it reminded me of what connection feels like, and you get connections to everything, absolutely everything. You can have a connection you to a food, a taste, you know, a great memory with your parents when you were a kid and you just happened to be eating s'mores that night or hot dogs, and then that's why you have a connection for the rest of your life to that taste, that smell, that familiarity. Like, I can still to this day smell a certain cologne and instantly feel my grandfather because it's what he wore. you know but when you're numb to life, you don't pick up on any of those signals, even though they're all around you every single day, all around you, everywhere you go. They represent themselves in numbers and patterns and uh, things like getting in the car and that song always seeming to come on when you're by yourself or when you're driving home a certain way. Um, these are all the things that are going on around you. So my advice to everyone that is searching for anything, chances are where you start isn't going to be where you finish. So you don't have to start with this big major thing that you already have in your mind, this big major problem. I know you want to start there because you know that if you can solve that big major thing, all of this will go away. And to a certain degree, you're right. But to get to that big main thing, you got to start with baby steps, man. Baby steps. Because in order to connect to that big main thing, you got to be pretty damn well dialed in to where you are, who you are, and so on and so forth. And getting that back, that's a real challenge. That is a real challenge that can take a lot of time on your own, an absolute eternity that most of us don't have. You know, we don't have the time to spend. Like, I've spent 17 months straight in coming to terms with pain, trauma, PTSD, all the complications and past that having all those things can lead you down, whether it's divorce or heartache or financial loss or gain, even good jobs and bad jobs, moves and stays and times of doing absolutely nothing. All of it. All of it. But I was fortunate enough that I took the past year and a half or year and a half, I've been kind of on the other side of it now for a few months, but I spent 17 months straight just coming to terms with it and dealing with it and releasing it, I guess you could say, because there's a big difference between feeling it and thinking about it. So you've got to find the things, something that you can connect to, and remember why you had that connection. That's where you start. Maybe you love food, maybe you love art, maybe you love music, maybe you love movies, maybe you love hanging with a certain person, an activity, hiking, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you think could inspire you to connect, be able to connect to a moment, not pretend to connect. You know the difference? You got to understand the difference. Like, because when you're numb, even when someone gives you a gift, your reaction isn't real. You overreact to what they gave you, or not react at all, underreact, because you're not feeling the moment. That's why you don't know what to do, and why you feel like you just kind of overreact to everything, because you're trying to act like how you think you should, not how you feel, because you're not very connected. You're not grounded into who you are. And you've got to, if you want to climb out of wherever you're at, the hole you're in, discover the pain that you're feeling, or release the pain that you're feeling, then you've got to connect to it. And connecting starts with just understanding what connection is. You've got to feel the most basic of connection before you can put together a much stronger one, So you got to start with baby steps, just like anything else, I mean, just because you can describe your problems better than anyone, because you spend hours upon hours, damn near every minute of your day, since what you would say or think of in your head is when life as you knew it kind of stopped. Ever since that moment, you did nothing but analyze and think and obsess over the pain and torture of whatever led you to that point. So you think you have a very good understanding of everything you've been through. And you understand it. You do, more than anybody. But if you're trying to release it and move on from it, then you got to do something much differently. And that's learn to get in touch with it. That's a very different thing. It's a very different task. So I encourage you to look around on my channel, watch any video that jumps out to you, that grabs you. Don't listen to it like I'm talking about my pain and my struggle. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm telling you or sharing my particular situation because it's something I can truly connect to and feel. And if it's something you can relate to or dial into yourself, then it might be possible for you to learn as well. I know that it's possible. I had given up a long time, a lot of years, that it wasn't. I thought I was too stubborn, too strong-willed, too stuck in my head, too depressed, too lost. It had gone on too long. All excuses, man. All excuses. All things I rationalized to myself. I had to justify the amount of time that it seemed like my life was on pause for 15 years. Just on pause. For 15 years, I just thought about the life I had prior. Not the life I was living or the life I hope to one day have, but the life I had prior for 15 years. Like when my light popped on, it felt like my mind was picking up the day after my life stopped, which is 15 years ago. Like my interests picked back up, my curiosities, my connections and everything picked back up to those. It's almost like I'm 15 years behind in a way. Because the 15 years that I was just numb, I didn't progress in any way, shape, or form. I didn't develop new ideas, new hobbies, new interests, new likes, new dislikes, new nothing. So when that left me, it took me right back to, in my case, 2004. Like, I feel like who I was in 2004, even though it's 2019. And that's a lot of time to have gone by. So I appreciate uh, your support and helping me get my message out to as many people as I can, because I think it truly was a blessing for me to come to terms with my own situation and pain. And it was so powerful to me, and it took so much to kind of make that happen. I just feel like I have to do something with it. I have to do something with it. I know there's just as many people out there that are struggling with the same questions that I struggled with for years. And if helping lead them to their own answers in any way, shape, or form can cut a year off their journey, 2 years off their journey, or who knows how many, Who knows if they'll ever find the right way without someone giving them a little nudge, a little point that's been there. So that's all this is about. I hope I can help anyone with that, because it's a gift. It's a gift, man. It's a gift to wake up and to only be concerned about today and excited about tomorrow, and not give two craps about yesterday anymore. And it's just, that's amazing that that's possible, that it's seriously possible. And it's not just someone talking out their ass, some psychiatrist or some doctor or some telling, it's real. It's real. It can really happen. If it happened to me, it can happen to anybody, trust me. And so I know that wholeheartedly. And so if anything, any videos jump out at you, comment on them. Reach out to me. Maybe I'll do one on a longer talking about it. We'll talk directly or one-on-one, however, there's no rhyme or reason in any of this. Whatever grabs you, and we'll go with it and see what comes of it. Does that make sense? All right, everyone. Thank you. Bye.